Good afternoon, everybody. We are back. We've had a mini break to inhale a sandwich.
We have, and we're back with you from Paynton Beach for SUP 12 2025, and it's been a fantastic day so far. We're almost approaching
SUP
halfway.
SUP 6.
Halfway, SUP 6.
Yeah.
That's halfway through the 12-hour session, and like all times, it's really gone like lightning, hasn't it? Whenever we come to a SUP 12, we think, wow, 12 hours is quite a lot of hours. But
it's 12:22, so we are 40 minutes away, 38 minutes away from the SUP 6s starting their journey. So this event, as Simon said, is SUP 12. It's a 12-hour endurance race, laps of 3.5 kilometres, and then a beach transition where you're in and out of transition. Do you stop? Do you not? It's a bit of a mind mess
Scrambler.
as well, scrambler.
yeah,
And Brendan introduced this year's SUP 6, so for those not wanting to, mentally take on 12 hours, even though you don't have to paddle for 12 hours, they are paddling for 6 hours. So
absolutely.
there's not, the majority of people are SUP 12, but SUP 6s are here to stay. So we're looking forward to welcoming those paddlers onto the beach. Christine and Amy, thank you very much for joining us on the live feed, and we look forward to everybody else joining us as well who's watching before. We do have to change batteries and change phones. Obviously we don't have a phone, not in this day and age, that can last for 12 hours. So thank you for your patience, and we welcome you back when you come back. And if you could help us by sharing the link to this, you can share and just post that on any of your social, or if you're in with any SUP groups, we'd really appreciate your help, because the more people that watch, it just helps to spur us along in our 12 hours worth of chat.
Chatter.
So we've been talking to people from Australia. We've got a couple of friends out there who paddle out there, and hopefully they know each other and have met each other. I hope so, Chris and Julie Smith. Let's hope you've connected in some way, or will do. And then we've got people from around the country who are watching. Karen Greener, your name is one of the first to pop up, and we wish you a very, very happy birthday. Have a beautiful day. I'm sure Bruce is watching as well. Bruce could not be here. Karen is not here either, but I'm sure you'll be back next year. Great part of the SUP community and our SUP family.
Indeed, absolutely. And we were looking at the Northern Racing Team's t-shirts, resplendent in this competition. Got a lovely picture of you and Bruce on the front, looking triumphant with the legend.
Up.
Yeah, one more lap on the back, which is the sort of unofficial, I don't know, the call that goes up in the last hour as people arrive on the beach into the transition just shortly before the cut-off time.
But I think that one more lap has really come from Bruce doing last paddle standing, and just they were just drip feeding him that message. One more lap, Bruce, that's all you need to do, is just one more lap. And wow, he did amazingly well. So yes, the t-shirts are fabulous, aren't they, Karen?
Well, not only the t-shirts on the team, but the dog. One of the dogs has got a t-shirt as well. Northern SUP team. So there's no discrimination against dogs there whatsoever. But let's just turn the camera around, and it's a fantastic sight.
Now have a look. If you were watching first thing this morning, you will have seen the tide lapping the concrete here. So it was almost at the top there where that tide mark is, and now almost 6 hours later it is way out. It's 100 metres or so, about ICF sprint length actually.
Exactly, it's quite some distance. In fact, it's come to the point where they are almost hammer buoys. Those triangular buoys there, which are nearest to us, those were quite some distance away when we started, and now really they are.
They look like they've been perfectly placed actually for the tide. So they have to paddle out through those 4 triangle buoys, hang a left, paddle all the way down the coastline to an orange buoy, where that down there has been quite gnarly this morning. You've had a lot of reverberation of the swell hitting the rock and coming back out, and then they can paddle all the way back past the pier, not under the pier, and then round a buoy, and then back through the same way through those triangle buoys, and then up through transition. So
all the way down, so through those flags there, those 2 blue flags, up the steps, and then all the way along this. And here be dragons, because we've got supporters, we've got family, we've got dogs, all sorts, but most importantly, your supplies. So you could sit down there and you could consume a bag of Haribo or whatever secret sauce fuels your endurance exploits. So that's the lay of the land in terms of the race. Let's just do a quick update on where things are in terms of leaders' positions, because once again, and to no surprise to anyone, we have someone out in front who ended in first place last year.
Yep, Paul Simmons is absolutely smashing it this year. He went out like a hot rabbit, and he's actually a lap ahead of his nearest competitor, and his nearest competitor is a very, very strong paddler, and he's doing amazingly well, but Paul Simmons is ahead of him by about 3.5, 4k now. So
yeah, absolutely.
Incredible stats.
As you say, he set out like a hot rabbit from the off, and he hasn't let up. He's kept a quite remarkable consistency in lap timings. He hasn't really varied by a minute, I think, and bearing in mind it's the 3.5 kilometres, changeable conditions, all of that stuff. He's just been pretty decent, and if I'm not mistaken, is that
Nope.
No, it's not. Okay, I am mistaken. Anyway, running through the transitions is something that Paul does, and he does it really, really quickly. And as you say, Carlo has been in hot pursuit. But I think Paul's, obviously coming at this race with plenty of experience, not
That
least.
is Carlo, isn't it?
It is Carlo. Yes,
Yeah.
You're right.
So he's lying in second place, and then for the ladies, we've got Tanya Ecker, who is doing an even more incredible thing than Paul, and she is 2 laps ahead of her nearest competitor. So if you pan round very quickly, you'll see Carlo. Well done, Carlo! So looks very steady there. The last thing you need is for a trip, an injury, anything like that. So he's going nice and steady. He's going to stop at his station, grab himself some hydration or food, a banana. He's got a plethora of bananas there, I believe.
I think it's called a bunch.
A bunch, that's the one.
Or a plethora. I'm not that posh.
Plethora.
Plethora of bananas at 14, I heard. So that probably is a plethora. That's more than one bunch, I would say.
Yep. And the food of choice for Bruce at Last Paddler Standing was pork pies, I do believe.
Well, this is why we love Bruce.
Or just in general for racing, pork pie man. So
yeah, no, I'm definitely with him on that one.
The conditions are beautiful. We have been so lucky, and the sun is coming out. There is forecast a bit of rain, and we are really hoping that is not going to happen. But I don't think it's going to be heavy.
No.
I think it's a bit of rain. We're going to go and grab some guys over here, actually.
Why not?
Maybe interrupt them.
Talking high finance.
They are talking high
and
finance.
strategy.
Let's leave them for a minute.
Right,
They'll
okay.
come to us. We are creeping away from those boys.
Let's have a little wander on the beach, shall we? Ooh, there we go, there's Carlo. So Carlo's...
Oh, you see, he's just tripped on that stone. That is amazing. We're talking about people tripping up, and he's just almost turned his ankle on that stone. So let's hope that doesn't have an impact.
It doesn't.
He's young. He's under 39 for sure, because he's in that age category, and hopefully he'll be keep going. But there's now a long beach run, isn't there? If you don't like running, this is the nastiest part of it.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Exactly. And the sand down there is actually quite soft. So if you spend any time standing on it, then you end up sinking in. And then this is all very gravelly up here. You can see this sort of the angle of the beach. And this really comes into its own at this phase of the tide, and we had quite a few people struggling to get out of the water here, turning their boards over, turning themselves over in the surf.
And that may well happen later because they'll be very tired by then.
Yeah.
And actually, looking at these paddles on the water, Simon, if you look directly ahead, you can see the swell, so you can see the boards disappearing. So there is still, a nice little swell out there. Will be still catching people out.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of people who have just, throughout the whole race, paddled on their knees, and there is no, it doesn't matter if you do that here, you won't get on a podium for sure, but if you're on your knees and that's the way you're going to get round and that makes you feel safe and comfortable, then, well, it won't be comfortable. Paddling on your knees is never that.
No.
But they're out there and they're part of the event, and that is what is most important, isn't it? So it is still a challenge out there, and you've got a side where, the wind is directly in our faces at the moment, isn't it? It's on shore. So that, for those paddlers going left to right and right to left, is going to be,
Yeah, paddle on the left, paddle on the right.
Yeah, absolutely, all day long. So we want to keep an eye out for Paul Simmons and Tanya Ecker, who are currently the current champions and the current leaders.
Yeah.
And then we'll grab a chat with Brendan and Lee Pooley from Paddle UK. Have a chat with him, them, or either of them about some really exciting things that are happening in the SUP race.
And we'll also grab a chat with Oscar Propulsion as well.
Definitely.
But we would like your questions. If you can hear us, first of all, that would be great. If you can confirm that would be amazing. And if you could share where you're listening to us from. And if you've got any questions or you want us to catch you up on any factoids, and I'm aware that I haven't done, you were responsible for asking for my fascinating facts from Paignton. I don't know whether the fact that you haven't asked me again is down to the level of fascinating factoids. Those of you who were there earlier,
Puddinggate.
Yeah, Puddinggate, why people from Paignton are called pudding eaters. If you don't know that fact and you're not prepared to Google it, then you'll have to watch the live stream to catch up with that critical piece of information. I think my second fascinating fact is Agatha Christie, and Agatha Christie is one of those figures, one of those authors, the author of the murder mysteries. She was a resident of Torbay, and she used to go to the Picture House in Paignton, and her favourite seat was row 2, seat 2.
Okay.
There we go. I attempted to do a sort of mic drop moment for my second fascinating fact. I get a sense I probably won't be asked again.
Was there a reason for the row 2, seat 2?
She just liked it, I think.
Okay, she liked the numbers.
She's not available to
confirm either way.
So,
so Bill Griffiths has been out shopping, and he's returned to find out what is going on, and that sounds good. Thank you, Bill, for that information.
Yeah, thanks. So I can confirm that the Strepsils are sorting themselves out, but I'm not sure what the maximum consumption of Strepsils are during the course of the day and what physiological effects they may well have.
Today it doesn't matter, just keep taking them.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Bill, for interacting with us as well. You can hear us in Swansea, that's great. Well, Emily King is doing incredibly well. She's lying in second place at the moment, but Tanya is 2 laps ahead of her. And listening in Cornwall with John Moore, that's really nice to hear that as well. Thank you. Francisco, hello my lovely, how are you doing? Nice to see your name on our live feed. Hope you've been out paddling this morning. I think we might get some more viewers this afternoon. People hopefully will be out and about doing their thing.
Yes, absolutely. But there is a bonus if you do watch us for the remaining hours. We are sort of tentatively calling people, Orange Command or something. What was
Orange
it?
Army or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember. You made it up.
I did. I'll have to go back and check it out. But anyway, we really appreciate you being on with us. You really give us strength to carry on, in the words of a song.
Yep.
And I think I'll just launch myself into the latest batch of Strepsils.
Okay. So yes, if you would like to show us how much time you've spent watching us, a little bit of proof, nothing hardcore, we can then determine who we think has spent the most time watching, and we're going to hand you a little prize, something. We'll find something. and a little medal maybe, just to say thank you so much. Let us know where you are and how long you think you've been watching for the rest of the day. But the conditions, look, you just look at this and you go, oh my goodness, it's beautiful. Lots of people on the beach watching from Boston. Thank you. Is that
Tam Smith?
Tam Smith. Okay, your brother is paddling here today, Rick Smith. We'll have a look out for him and give him a shout out. So, beautiful day, lots of people on the beach walking their dogs. No one swimming in the sea as yet, but it is a very common practice here. But you can see the people down here from the end here walking down the beach. It's beautiful. Nice and flat, and the sun is out, so it's got a little bit warmer. I've lost my beanie and I put my cap on, so that shows it's warmed up a little bit.
Positively tropical.
It's tropical.
There we go. Right. Fantastic. So, there we go. We've got more beach transitioning going on in front of us. We're pretty much low tide now, I would think. Not far away, anyway.
I think we are, because it should be at 1 o'clock, shouldn't it, if it was 7 o'clock. Oh, 8 o'clock was high tide, was it? I can't remember.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, so yeah.
Just a smidgen before.
When they're sending off the SUP6 crew, that will be our break, and then the tide will be coming in a little while after that. So.
Right, okay, so what have we got to talk about then? So we...
Excuse me, Brendan, hang on.
Right, let's... there you go, the perils of live TV. We've got the chili peppers, all sorts of sweet sounds.
Okay. Don't trip up. Don't trip up. So
Right.
just tried to grab Brendan and Lee Pooley. They were running off the beach, but Brendan has to go because he's just about to start the SUP6 races. I think there are about 4 or 5 of them, so most of the other people have chosen to do SUP12.
And we got a message from Bruno Hasulio, apologies. A very well-known name.
Absolutely.
Brothers.
I'm just going to put my glasses on. So, Bruno, thank you so much for checking in. We would love to, we'd love to see you over here paddling. We will shout out to everybody and say that you're sending your energy to everybody. You're a very energetic young man. I met Bruno and Daniel Hasulio in China. Oh no, I probably met you before that actually at the APP.
An APP in London, so we met there as well.
And then went to China, there's a great little interview with the brothers on my SUPjunkie paddleboarding YouTube channel, so check that out. It's quite old, but it was fun and you were very gracious with your time. I do remember that, so it's really lovely that you've checked in and you're still involved in the scene, and tell us what you're up to next, Bruno. We'd love to hear that, and if there's any chance of you and your brother coming over to the ICF SUP World Cup here at almost this very beach, but this very locality, we'd love to see you. Cheering for Carlo. Well, Carlo is doing incredibly well. He's in second place at the moment, but Paul Simmons from the UK has actually got a lap ahead of him, if not a little bit more now. Paul is the reigning champion of this event and is absolutely on it. Obviously wants to retain that, but also probably smash his record from last year. So we're looking at, I think we're looking at 33 laps for Paul, were we?
I think so, yeah, last time. So he may well be on track with that.
Yeah.
Although we say 3.5 kilometres. There's sometimes a bit of a variance. Sometimes even if the conditions deteriorate during the course of the day. So it's really the number of laps, and you can only really test how people are doing in the moment in the actual race itself. But Paul's definitely ahead, and that's understandable. He's obviously had plenty of experience of operating in these race conditions, which are very, very special. He's also these are sort of close to his natural waters as well round here.
Absolutely.
So he's got lots and lots of experience to deploy here, and he seems to be using it with full effect.
Absolutely. And Bruno, going back to people that you've paddled with in your lifetime, we've got Tanya Ecker here, who is the reigning champion from last year, and she is here, and she is again ahead by 2 laps. I know you've raced with her at the SUP 11 Cities. You are a champion in that event, and actually that's where you first came to my attention, was the years previous to 2018. It was when I was racing earlier than that, and your name kept popping up with your brother, and you paddling the 11 cities together. I mean, happy days. What history for SUP racing in the UK and worldwide. We really appreciate you being on today, so thank you for that. So Carlo, I think, is going to do incredibly well. He's just had a slight trip on a stone here, so we're hoping that he's not hurt his ankle or anything like that. He looked pretty good.
He wasn't limping afterwards, so I think it was just a bit of a shock.
So, we're here, and we've got some paddlers who have never been on the sea before. We've got some good energy coming from the youngsters who, well, not so young, and slightly older people who've just never done this before, never paddled in an event like this, or raced actually. So we've got some people very much out of their comfort zone, so it's really lovely that they're here and participating in SUP 12. So it's a great event, and Bruno, maybe you'd like to come over and test your hand at having a go. 12 hours on the water, I think you'd probably love that.
Yeah, absolutely. What's not to love about that? But it's all about testing, and there we go.
Goes.
There's the man of the moment.
And the lady of the moment as well.
Yeah.
So that's it. You've got Paul Simmons there running back, and he will run the whole way.
Yeah.
And Tanya will do the same. She'll be trotting up and down and getting back on the water.
She's changed her outfit slightly, but still just as visible with the orange hat on there.
Yep.
And that sort of helps us. It's incredible how much it helps us spot what's actually going on.
Yeah, to identify those paddlers.
Yeah.
We either identify them from the board, but we have got a young man who we need to speak to over here. So let's go and have a chat with him.
Let's go and see whether we can. He's certainly resplendent.
Another hat.
There you go. Protect the bonds. Good to see you. Right. Let's. So we are joined by Lee Pooley. The head honcho, is that the official description?
Not the head honcho, no.
Don't want to be.
Not at all, no.
Of SUP,
so I'm the Director of Recreation and Development, and part of that remit is stand-up paddleboarding, which I'm delighted to have accountability and responsibility for.
And what's your experience been so far? Because still relatively new, I guess, in governance terms, as was British Canoeing, now Paddle UK.
Yeah.
What's been your, to use that horrible phrase, what's been your journey so far?
Well, in terms of the journey, I think we've had a really exciting, and I think we've really progressed in this particular area of stand-up paddleboarding. We've secured more sponsorship for events, and this is one of them. SUP 12 today is one of them, and we're working hard with the community. We're ensuring that we are engaging. And what's even more exciting is we've managed to secure the ICF World Cup for June next year, which is phenomenal.
There's massive excitement about that, and you talked to Brendan, didn't you, about that, and it's in no small way to have the UK's contribution to driving that. So massive feather in your cap, and it's going to be a very exciting 2026.
Absolutely. I mean, you can imagine how excited I am, because you know me, I'm passionate about SUP racing. I love the leisure side of it, but to me it's the SUP racing. That's where I've always been poking you guys with a stick and saying, come on, get involved. And you've done that, and you are sponsoring these events. You're part of this event. You're here today in person, and you have, with Brendan's help, and you have both done it together. You couldn't have done it without each other. No. You have secured one of the biggest events in SUP racing, which is the ICF SUP World Cup, and that is coming here. It is absolutely incredible and so exciting. And as we asked Brendan, and you will testify, a huge amount of work to get that in place.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a phenomenal amount of work to do to put an application in, and absolutely Paddle UK were hands down that the English Riviera was the place to host the ICF World Cup. So we put that application in, and we heard back from the ICF, and now this is where the work begins. So putting an application in does take a lot of time, but now this is where the whole work comes in. So commercial partnerships, securing certain locations, a festival, because it's not just the World Cup. We're going to have a whole festival behind it, so lots around participation, grassroots coming through, youth development, all of those particular areas are really exciting for us. So June next year, this will be a thriving activity of stand-up paddleboarding, and a legacy to leave behind as well. And that's what's really important for us. Is this isn't a couple of days event and then we go. What we should be doing is we should be ensuring building on it and leaving a legacy behind.
And those memories do stay. When we've talked to other people about this event coming, we've said, well, the last big thing was the European, the Euro Tour coming to Carbis Bay. That was over 10 years ago. We remember that though. So this is a huge legacy, and I'm guessing. I'm going to ask a question here for viewers because I know the answer. Anyone can apply, can't they?
Yes, they can.
Yes,
anyone.
So, anyone.
Yeah, so please, as it stands at the moment, anyone can enter the ICF World Cup, which I think is absolutely fantastic, very inclusive. So what I would be suggesting is, where it's going to be hosted, so you probably want to come down here and you want to train down here, because the conditions on the sea, we can see it today, we've got a little bit of a chop coming in, so this is quite typical for Torbay. It's not always flat calm, it's not a lake that you just have to go round in circles. I mean, it keeps you entertained all the time. So if you're going to be thinking about the World Cup, you want to be training in conditions like this. But anyone can enter. It's completely inclusive, and it's going to be a fantastic event.
It really is.
And you're also a sponsor for the Super Championships.
Yes.
We've got another one coming up in September, which is probably the best test of competition ahead of the World Cup. So, it'd be great to get people along. Even if they can't train down here, then that would be a must-do.
Oh, absolutely. I think in September, that's almost like a blueprint for the World Cup, isn't it? People will be able to see where it's happening, be completely involved, a good test piece for them, and know the surrounding areas. And there's some fantastic venues that obviously are going to be used at the Super Champs. What I'm really looking forward to is the SUP Polo again.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Watching that was just the highlight almost of the event. It shouldn't be, but it was, because we just know the fun, the skill level for SUP Polo is insane, and we, my club Blue Chip have got probably the best player in the country. I can say that with authority. Really, Steve Llewellyn, he has just got such a passion for the sport, and to have that on site. So I don't know whether you were watching the ICF event that was last week, World Rugby event in Camacchio in Italy, so the spring SUP race, and they had polo there, they had pups on SUPs, they had, all the high level sprint, whatever, distance and tech, but they have all these other little bits and pieces that go into just make the event a bigger, better showcase for our sport at whatever level it is.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think this is where stand-up paddleboarding is hugely different to a lot of other sports. There is a lifestyle that sits behind it. You've only got to look up, behind us, the vans, the lifestyle, the people that are actually involved with it, the diversity of the sport that allows you to get involved. I keep pinching myself how many times, how friendly, engaging, supportive everyone here is as a competitor. They are working really hard out there. They are competitors, but actually they help each other. And that's extraordinary. And it's a lovely thing to be part of.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we agree. Whenever we talk about SUP racing community, we talk about community, and that is the big word that keeps coming up from loads of people. You'll get the top class athletes helping the people who may never have done it before and just want some advice. If you go and talk to them, and that is the one thing I'm excited about for next year, and I've said it before, is for people in the UK to experience international paddlers coming to their shores, to be able to watch them, even if they're not racing, if they love stand-up paddleboarding, come and watch some of these guys because they are almost another level. We've got our top class racers in this country, and I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but you've got the top and they are level with the world, but you've got an awful lot of people just sitting below that who are brilliant paddlers, brilliant racers. But when you see those people in action, like I watch, we've got Bruno Husilio who's online at the moment watching, and he's an international paddler, world champion and whatever, but when you see those paddlers in the flesh and what they can do on a board and watch it, it is totally inspiring. But they are normal human beings like you and I, and you can go and talk to them and just say, what leash are you using and why do you use that fin and whatever. They're absolutely lovely. So yeah, the SUP community is really strong. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think anyone that is watching this and considering coming down to SUPjunkie in September and coming down to the World Cup you can come and watch the racing, but also in between the racing you can get involved, and there'll be opportunities to participate. There'll be opportunities to go out on boards, talk to people, be involved with the festival. It's a real thriving environment, and it is completely for everyone in the family. So I've got my little boy here today, 4 years old, and he wants to get out into the surf and get onto a paddleboard. So but it's so if you're actually thinking about it and contemplating it, is don't contemplate, come down here, come down in September, come down next June, because we're going to have a fantastic time. We're going to have a ball, and I think at the end of the event we should have lots of drinking. Don't you think?
Yes.
Celebrate?
Well, yes. Maybe not lots.
Moderation.
Moderation drinking. But a couple of bottles of bubbly, maybe, to celebrate.
Yeah. And why shouldn't we?
It's huge, and as Simon has said, fair play to you for getting stuck in and really taking it on board and really going with it and knowing the worth of it as well. Because you have been criticised, Paddle UK, I've done it myself, back in the day, for not engaging and whatever. You're engaging and you're really trying your best, and if you don't know something you're asking, and I appreciate all that personally, and what have we got next year? We've got one of the biggest events in the world in SUP racing, so I'm grateful. I think it's great.
And I think just to that subject, taking on governance for a brand new sport from a standing start is a really, really difficult thing to do and to get right. But I think your engagement with the community, has been incredible, and it's certainly been recognised by all of us who've had contact. So thank you for all your contributions.
What I would like to do is I would like to thank the community for supporting us, giving us advice and guidance. We are listeners. We do listen, and we want to be able to support this SUP community as best as we possibly can to make it, as a vibrant, long-lasting community as it should be.
So there we go. As we all break out our handkerchiefs and engage in group hugs, I think we're all sort of uniformed in all of that stuff. But appreciate your time, Lee, and hope you enjoy the rest of the race.
Yeah.
And
we're on. To see the SUP 6 off. So
yes, I'm going to come down as well.
Let's go. I think they're literally going in 1 minute. Always good to chat.
Right, here we go. The start of SUP 6. As we head down, this will be underwater in another 3 hours' time. It's the way of the world in painting.
Up to our necks, I think.
Yes. Now, this is a first-time event, isn't it? And we're trying all sorts of different things. Well, Brendan's trying all sorts of different formats and so on. But this is SUP 6. Starts at 1 o'clock. We will cover the start of this, and then we will need to withdraw, get ready for our first of our chats.
Oh yes, first of our guests. Has anybody had a guess at who is going to be our guest?
That's quite a big choice there.
Well, someone's got a guess.
Yeah. Okay, here we go then. So we can see how far the tide has gone. Those boys there were well away when we started this, and you can see the height of some of these little choppy waves coming in. You have to get quite some way out there before you manage to float your fin. One more. Excellent. So this is very much a test event. SUP 6. 6 hours. So we start at low, finish at high. And going to get some guys who are perhaps not quite as experienced as some of these 12 competitors.
We've got 3 paddlers who are going off in SUP 6, and there were supposed to be 4, but one of them upgraded to SUP 12, so good for him. So these 3 ladies are going off. Brennan's going to give them the beep beep.
Right, so let's just catch up on some of these. What do we got? Lots of people. Good luck to the Frangipani guys taking part.
Andrea's watching. Hello, my lovely. How are you, my friend? You should be here, but I appreciate and understand why you're not.
Really great commentary, SUPjunkie UK and SUP FM podcast. Thank you, Andrea. Very much appreciated. I just want to echo the words that my colleague has just said in your direction. Go paddlers and the Welsh warriors, Sarah Marshall and Sarah Perkins. Absolutely.
Yep, they are paddling well.
Okay, so we have got. See, Karen is in. Graham Smith, well done. Rick Smith, he's doing well. And Lee Boxall checking in for the afternoon.
So we're here, you can see by the water we've got these little waves coming in, so a little bit of a challenge for some people. So let's just watch these ladies. There was a little bit of nerves, wasn't there, earlier? We were talking to the lady at the far end with a red cap on, and she was a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
But
not a frequent sea paddler, but as we said to her, once you're on the water, you become a sea paddler. So here we go. Here we go. Okay. Little Phoenix Bruce. There we go, and we've got some surf tips being delivered by.
Amazing.
Yeah. And really. Yeah. That's it. Don't run Brendan down, please.
Yeah, please do. That would be great for the camera.
Yeah. Live.
Yeah, actually, on second thoughts, oh my goodness.
Gosh, the sun is properly out.
Oh, it is.
Suddenly the temperature has just notched up a little bit. Look at the conditions here. It's absolutely beautiful. You've got paddlers coming in. We've got someone over there on a lovely red race board. We've got David Partridge going back in on his starboard. He's been swimming quite a bit this morning, I think.
Here we go.
Good. These ladies are ready to rock and roll.
Ooh. 30 seconds. And look at those conditions.
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it? There's nothing beats being down by the seaside when the sun is shining and you've got those little waves. It's absolutely beautiful. It's great, isn't it? The man doesn't even need a whistle.
I know.
There's Kate in the middle. She is running a little bit, so she's obviously a little bit more competitive than the other girls. She wants to get out there first. But these ladies are doing the SUP 6 race, which is the baby brother to SUP 12, and it just gives people the opportunity to know that the longest time they can be on the water is 6 hours.
Yes.
So, fantastic. Off they go.
Just getting beyond the break here is the thing, isn't it? Just powering down, getting that forward momentum to get you over the waves.
Yeah, So
The
Kate
frequent,
is
yeah.
off first. You've got Helen in second place.
Oops.
Oh. Yeah, you
That's
just
all
got
right.
to.
That's functional. Just be pragmatic and just get out there, and then
Yep.
you get your sea legs on.
Brilliant.
Lovely.
I think we should have a chat with Mike.
Should we? I think we should have a chat with Mike.
I'll have a chat with him about having a chat.
Excellent. Excellent. I think in that case we should have a chat with Mike. Yeah. Here is Mike. We because of the mic, we have to sort of do this in a certain way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Put me where you want me.
So, I'm here with Mike Smith. Thank you very much for all that you do for stand-up paddleboarding, and you've been board butlering this morning.
I've been board butlering for as long as my knee would stand it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm struggling with the left knee at the moment, so
Okay.
it's not been ideal. But
Okay.
I've done as much as I could today.
And I think that was quite a lot, so well done to you. And it's changed, hasn't it? I
It
mean, my
has.
goodness, the difference in where you started at the
Yeah,
top
yeah.
and the trickiness there.
With
and
quite
then
a
that little
sheer
drop
drop off as well,
Yeah.
and then so
And then you come down to this, which is an awful lot of beach movement and whatever. So,
It is.
yeah, really, really brilliant. Thank you for doing that. And we've seen each other a lot at events over the past few years, haven't we?
we have indeed. Yeah,
and
3 years now, I
can't
think.
remember where I last saw you. Was it at SUPjunkie? Can it?
Probably was.
That is
Yeah, it
mind
probably
blowing.
was.
So, where we sat on the sofa together and launched SUP Planet Earth Foundation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can I ask where you are with that?
Yes.
You know that. Let's put it into perspective. That was only 6 months ago.
Yes.
You are trying. You have created a charity, but you have logistical nightmare with paperwork and everything that goes on. So, you know, as much as we're like, what's happening? What's happening? That was only 6 months ago.
Yeah. So we are in a tricky situation in that we've lost, through no fault of their own, we've lost 3 of our trustees in the past few months for life events and things that have happened where they've had to make the decision to step away. Now, because we don't have our charity commission number yet, that's put us into a tricky position where every time I have to resubmit the paperwork, so every time a trustee steps down, where in a normal committee meeting, you would just, if somebody was stepping down, you'd minute it in the minutes and then you'd move on.
Yep.
But because we haven't got that commission number yet, I have to keep resubmitting the paperwork, which then means that it's a really long and
Yeah.
drawn out process. So we're hoping that will be done in the next, I'm hoping 3 weeks. Once that's done, we're back on track and things will
And you
be
can sort of
forward
move
motion.
forward and-
So the
Yep.
plan, I've been talking to Crispin from Waterbourne.
Yep.
So the plan for us in the summer is to run at least 2 summer schools with Crispin at Waterbourne in Kingsbridge. So that will be our first proper thing as a charity this year, to pay for and run 2 summer schools with Crispin.
Okay, and you
So-
couldn't have a better. We've had a good long chat with Chris
He's
live
brilliant.
today.
Yeah, he's
You
brilliant.
couldn't have a better sort of person to help you, assist you, be with you in that journey, could you?
Exactly.
That's really good. Chris,
We're really
good
lucky
action.
there, and it's just been frustrating amount of paperwork, and there are lots of things going on behind the scenes, although it doesn't look like there's much going on in the public eye. We've got the website under construction now. The trustees are working really hard on lots of the other bits behind the scenes on actually getting the systems in place for booking the students in.
Yeah.
Chris has worked really hard on a vetting. So Chris McDonald, who's racing
Yes.
today, one of our trustees, he's worked on a vetting procedure to actually go to water sports schools, make sure that we're comfortable and happy with the safety and what they're providing.
Good.
So there's lots going on behind the scenes. It just hasn't presented itself front of house yet.
So when you do, the world's going to go mental because you're going to be presenting so much positive energy and news.
Exactly.
We won't be able to keep up.
I hope that's
Which
the
is
plan. There'll
really
be a
exciting.
lot of things launching all at the same time.
Yeah, good.
Which is what we're aiming for.
Yeah,
really.
good. Do you know what? I think the tide is coming in,
It's definitely coming,
isn't
in.
it?
Yeah.
Should we,
It's
should we
just turned. We're just
shuffle
gonna
back a
shuffle
tiny
couple
bit?
of meters. So, apart from that, what are you up to? What's going on?
So
with
I suppose
you?
the most the biggest update for me, sort of personally, is obviously I work with Brendan on these events whenever I can.
Yeah.
So for the World Cup, I'm taking on the volunteer effort. So I am managing the volunteers for the entire World Cup event in
Yeah.
Torbay. So if there's anybody out there that wants to volunteer, do get in touch. I'll take your details, I'll take everybody's information and be back in touch when the time comes when we
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to. So that's what I'll be working towards for 2026 and into September.
And that is such a huge and important role, because without these volunteers, these events just wouldn't run as smoothly
they really
as
wouldn't.
they do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many volunteers there are at this event, but there must be, what, 20
Yeah.
or so?
Oh, easily, yeah. And there's people that come for an hour. There's people that come, like Carl behind us, who's still board butlering and has been all day.
It's life.
It is life. And that's the thing for those World Cup championships, especially, whether you can offer 2 hours, whether you can offer the entire 5 days of the event, anything is welcome.
Yeah.
So do get in touch and let us know if you think you can offer some time.
I witnessed the volunteer programme at Nathan Benderson Park for the ICF World Championships in Sarasota last year, and it was quite amazing because they would most of the volunteers were through Nathan Benderson Park, and they would put out regular asks almost every day, because they had their quota.
Yeah.
You might get one who's ill or whatever, so they would regularly put out, and they literally would have them all in a big room. They would talk them through the situation. They would come back, and they would always, which I thought was brilliant, always ask for feedback. What went wrong today? What went right? What do you think we could do better?
Exactly.
And it was fascinating to see it actually on the ground. I didn't see much of it, but I saw enough to just sort of take it on, in my head about what was going on. So it's a huge role, and well done for taking that role on, but you'll be brilliant at it.
What I would also say to anybody is, if you're not sure how it works, come along and volunteer for Super Champs this year, because that'll give you a really good indication of what it would be like to volunteer for the World Cup as well.
Yeah, and if you've not been here as well, we've said it earlier with Lee Pooley, just if you haven't been here, come and check out the locality, check out
Exactly.
Just the logistics.
Get involved in the vibe.
The
vibe is the best thing. That's why I love SUP 12. The vibe is just fantastic.
Yeah. Man
All
after
about
our
the
own
vibe.
heart,
It's all
isn't
about the
it?
vibe.
We've said that a few times. It's all about the vibe. So, would you do this event?
Do you know what? I'm going to do it next year.
Are
And
you?
You can hold me to that on
Oh,
camera.
it's live.
We're live, and I'm going to do it next year.
Brilliant.
I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah, well, it's a great event, and it's the last thing I would want to do. But, never say never. Well done for
Next year, I'm going to give the full 12 hours a go and see,
awesome.
what I can do.
Awesome.
You
Well,
heard
Mike,
it here first.
thank you so much. If anybody wants to get involved, as Mike said, in the ICF SUP World Cup next June, and want to maybe think about being a volunteer, or who knows they'll be a volunteer, please get in contact, or directly through Brendan, I guess, as well. Put your name forward, and any time that you can help, however long or short, will just be amazing.
Agreed.
All right, cool.
Brilliant.
Thank
Excellent.
you so much.
Keep
Thank
up the
you.
good work,
Take
guys.
care.
We'll try.
About
Right.
6 hours to go.
Yep.
Well, it's all in the closing straight
All
now.
right, thanks, Mike. Take care.
Right, let's head on back, because we may well have some people to speak to.
And we've got a long walk back now.
We've got a long old walk now.
But
haven't we?
the tide has turned.
Yes,
Tide has turned, so it's coming back in.
exactly.
So, a
Less than 6
beautiful,
hours.
look
Yeah.
at this beautiful beach. Look at all these boards waiting. Does this mean that people are having their lunch? It is lunchtime.
So we've got Tanya coming ashore now. So we had Paul going out just at the back end of that chat there with Mike.
Okay, brilliant.
So Carlo is the next one we need to keep
An eye on.
an eye on.
So here comes Tanya. She is, as you say, got that bright orange hat on, which is
Honestly,
brilliant.
it's so helpful.
We can see her, know who she is. She's doing well. She just does this when she gets off the board. She shrugs the shoulders and loosens everything up. Well
She's
done,
flying.
Tanya. Awesome job. Keep going. She's got that dry robe, showerproof hat on,
Yeah,
nice in orange. But yeah, she jiggles up the beach. She doesn't run fast, but she shakes
gets-
out her shoulders and her arms. She definitely
she's
knows
flying.
what she's doing. She knows what she's doing, that girl, and that is why she does so well at. Well, she's quite amazing. So I would say that Tanya is an endurance girl. She's SUP 11 cities. She's done that for a good few years. She's really good at longer events. She's very strong and steady. But then
she's
you
also
see
got the
her.
sprint, isn't she?
Yeah, you then see her at the ISA World Championships, and she's entered the 5K Tech. you know, and doing incredibly well. So she's got it all. She's quite the amazing paddler, and she's over here with her father. She was supposed to be over here with another girl who was going to paddle with her, who unfortunately had a bike accident and hurt herself quite badly. So she couldn't come. So she's here with her father, and tootling around and doing some exploring. Been to Brixham and whatever. So yeah. She's quite incredible, and she's also the main European dealer for 404 boards as well. So
busy
a
time.
Busy girl.
All of that.
A busy girl.
Activity, international competition.
And I think you can follow her. I think it's Britannia Outdoors. Yeah, if you want to follow Tanya Ecker, that's where you can find her. So. Keep going, lovely.
Right,
okay. Brownie or something there.
Oh, excellent. Right, so here we go. This is the way people get onto the course. Oh. Hello. There we go.
You want 20k?
Oh,
well
amazing.
done.
Well done. Well done. So we have got some special guests coming up, haven't we? We hope.
We have. We
if
hope.
It all sort of fits into place.
We may or may not. So we
may or may not. So we will.
We will let you'll be the first to know. Still running between transitions. Right, let us go in. So we have.
Yep.
So Lee, checking back in for the afternoon. Yep, we are still here. I can confirm that. Hope the skiing went well. And we've just seen the start of the SUP 6. We've got Go Reds. Karen, what are you doing watching us on your birthday? I mean, it's great. You should be wining and dining or in a hotel or something like that. Hope you're having a lovely day, and I hope you're having something planned for later on. How is Emily King doing, please? Right, well, we'll go and have a look at the scores just in a second, but Emily is in second place and doing pretty well. Lee, 6 hours in, the legs and the head start to tell you to stop. By all means have a break, but don't throw in the towel. Grab a hot chocolate coffee, take a breath, make a deal with yourself to go for one more lap, and then another. Yes, one more lap. Right, let's go and have a look at the scores. Right, so where are we? Well, we know who's still in first place here. We've got Paul Simmons, and he's really expanded his lead there. He's 2 laps ahead of Carlo. Sorry, excuse me. So there we go, and again keeping a really quite remarkable consistency. We've got a 32. Where are we? So there he is, he's at the top there, Paul. 24, 24, 25, 26, 25, but now looking like he's 2 laps ahead there, so really taking a stranglehold. Carlo's laps, let's have a look.
2 laps ahead?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, so
look at that.
Again, Carlo had a 32 there, but the rest of the lapping is all pretty consistent.
Well, and Paul is very consistent. Simon, I have got to disappear for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Can you cope on your own?
I'm sure I can.
You got this.
Thank you. Right, as we mentioned, Tanya Ecker from Germany, 45.5 kilometres according to this, but looks like she's also 2 laps ahead of Emily King. So we asked for an update earlier on Emily King, how's she doing? She's doing pretty good. and lapping at about sort of 33, 34 on average there. We've got Dortha Nielsen in third place, and she's done 35. So the distances here: Tanya on 45, Emily 38, and then 35, and then through to Lynn, who paddles down in Hampshire, near where I come from, on 31. So some really good performances there. And then if we just look over at the mixed team, so these are the relay teams, mostly made up of 2 people there. We've got Downton and Welly still in top place there, and Perkins, Jackson and Marshall, I think they moved up into second place now, which isn't a surprise because they've got some really good paddlers in their team, and we've got some decent times going through there, sort of around about 30 minutes. There's a 29.06 there as well, so that's pretty impressive. Sonia, great to have you on. Your charges are doing very well. All is going well with everyone, and we're 6 hours in, which means that we've hit those that halfway point, that psychological middle point, and that is also the time where the mind starts playing tricks on people. They decide whether or not they're going to keep going or whether they're going to sit in their nice comfy seat. It's also the time of the session where there's the risk that our lips clam up and we're unable to articulate our words, but we will try and navigate around that as much as we can as we go. But let's just head on down and just have a look at some of these paddlers coming up and see whether we can grab a chat with someone if they're able to. We've obviously got some great dog support here. Northern SUP race team there, branded up, that's fabulous, and everyone just taking on their nutrition, doing a bit of social media, and maybe having a little bit of a nap as they go, and contemplating life and life decisions, and whether or not 12 hours on a paddleboard is actually a good idea. But plenty of people still out on the water. It's quite amazing. We've got a few boards out there, and you can see there that the water's just starting to creep back in again, and within a couple of hours this lower area will be full of water again, and you'll have a longer paddle out to the buoys than a walk, which is what everyone is having to face at the moment. So here we have the River Ninja. One more lap, Eric.
Have a little break and then.
Yeah, and then one more lap.
And then one more lap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Just a little break.
Yeah, excellent. Good stuff.
1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute only. Brilliant. So you can follow the River Ninja on Instagram. Eric is a fantastic character, and it's been great following him on SUP 12 and his other racing journey throughout the year. Huge character, very well loved within the community, and a really good competitor. He's up there, I think, within the top 10 at the moment. We'll have to go and have a bit of a check. Okay. So we're going to try and find Duncan if we can. Oscar Propulsion being one of the sponsors down here, and some really quite clever technology, but we haven't seen Duncan for a while.
Which one?
This
oh,
Duncan.
This Duncan. No, that's a very good point actually. We could do with finding him and having a chat.
So we've got Sonia Brotherton, Yo-Yo from Lanzarote.
Oh, lovely Sonia. Hello Sonia, thank you for checking in. So Sonia is, it's really nice actually. She and I had a good chat while you were there. at the SUP company. So
indeed, and she appeared on the SUP FM podcast recently, Sonia. So thank you very much for your insightful interview conducted by my colleague on my left here. And yeah, you got some of your charges participating in here.
Yeah.
And
So,
Lynn doing particularly well at the moment.
Yeah.
She's up there
yep, she's
in the
doing
competition.
well. So,
Obviously being
keep
prepared
watching,
very
and we'll
well.
try and find her and give her a shout out and let her know that you're watching. But yes, we were down at the SUP company with Tony doing they had a SUP demo day which you could try out loads of different boards, which is always really exciting to try out new race boards. And while we were there, we did a whole heap of chats and interviews with people. I've still got a couple to put up actually, but I thought I'd leave them until after this event because they're very much focusing on that ICF event. But we spoke to Sonia about that and she's very excited about it. She's just come back into SUP racing, particularly. She's been doing triathlons, which is great. She's super strong, but she's now going to focus on SUP racing, and she was very excited to hear about the World Cup coming here to Torbay. So can't wait.
Well, Sonia, tell us what the weather's like in Lanzarote at the moment. Might be a bit of wind, I guess.
Might be some wind. That's Lanzarote, isn't it?
Indeed,
so,
yeah, absolutely. But I'm sure the temperatures are beautiful.
Yeah, hopefully the sun is shining. But it's been a great event so far. We've got some stellar performances. I mean, Tanya and Paul both 2 laps ahead of anybody else. That is 7k ahead of anybody else.
Yeah.
That's incredible when you look at it like that, isn't it?
It is.
In a race of this, we've just passed the 6-hour mark. We've just seen the SUP 6s off. 3 ladies who've gone off to do their own challenge, racing for 6 hours instead of 12. Majority of people have chosen to do the 12, which is again fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're not. No one's taking the easy option here. They're all pushing their boundaries. We've got. I can just see Lizzie James over there. She's one of the 6 red paddlers. So let's give a couple of shout outs to sponsors of this event, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely.
And one of those is Paddle UK. Now we've just had a chat with Lee Pooley. And Paddle UK are really behind this event, and we could not be doing these things without their input. They are now the joint national governing body for England. We can't forget that. They are doing their very, very best, and they're getting involved in SUP racing, which to me is an absolute joy. And they will be part of the process of choosing those athletes who go to those world events. They're going to be the world. The SUP World Cup, which is coming to Torbay next year, would not be happening without their input, and that is huge. And they are a big sponsor of this event and SUPerchamps. So let's all applaud Paddle UK. They're doing their very best, and if they're not, they will listen and they will try and change. So they're not above being told that they're not doing a good job, or please can they do this? I've been doing it for years. So.
Yeah, where they can improve and contribute.
they want to contribute, and they want to improve. So that is, very, very exciting. So, what have you done, Sonia?
Right. So let's see. So we've got Bill. We've done 40 to 50k events, going from A to B. To come in every 3.5 kilometres, must play with your mind. So tempting to start. Battle of the mind.
That's exactly why it was invented in this way, Sonia. You've hit the nail on the head, absolutely, because that is what Brendan wanted to do.
So that's Bill there. And then we've got
Jackie.
Jackie from Thailand. Not managed to watch much, as a bit busy, but good work, everyone. Being busy, just no excuse whatsoever, I'm afraid, Jackie. But thank you for joining us anyway, and thanks for your comments, and tell us what the weather's like in Thailand. I'm willing to bet it might be a little bit warmer than it is
much warmer,
here.
surely,
Yeah.
much warmer. So we've got our paddlers going back out. Sarah Perkins, you back out?
Sarah
Good.
Perkins is going. She thinks she is. We will have final confirmation shortly, but she looks very much like it. Yes.
So I was going to shout out 2 sponsors, and I cannot remember who the others were. Let's talk about Mr. Shorties, please.
Well, let's talk about Mr. Shorties, but let's be aware that we might be joined by our guest in a second. In which case, we'll have to unplug, shoot into the van, and
All right.
have a nice chat.
Do we need space
With
in the
them.
van?
Sorry?
Do we need space in the van?
Possibly, I don't know.
If I want to do that?
Yeah, okay. So, do you want to give me your sponsor list? Lovely. Well, I want to say something. So we talked a bit about the Hampton by Hilton, who are the main sponsor for this event actually, and for the Super Championships, and we had the chance, the opportunity to go and stay there back in September, and they were fantastic. Really lovely rooms, very good hospitality, decent breakfast, and lots of space for brands to come in and exhibit. So they've been a massive supporter, I know, to Brendan over the years, and any support if you do happen to be coming down to Torbay, that would be great. And the quid pro quo is you get a lovely hotel stay there. And then the other hotel sponsors, significant ones, we've got the Mercure Hotel, which is part of the core group, the Ibis group. I can't speak for that one, but so Sarah's staying with them. But where I'm staying is this place just sort of behind here, that sort of castle looking place there, which is the Red Cliff Hotel, which is absolutely beautiful. It's being redone over, but it's a real sort of 1930s place with a ballroom. Not many hotels have ballrooms these days, and a fantastic terrace for breakfast. So highly recommend that if you do get the chance to stay in Paignton. So that's the Mercure and also the Red Cliff. We will grab a chat with Oscar Propulsion. We're standing in their gazebo right now, but they've got some fantastic technology available, and we will have a chat with Duncan when we see him. I was just saying about the Mercure Hotel. I said I could speak for the quality of the Red Cliff. How's the Mercure?
Mercure is lovely. It's newly renovated, so it's very modern, huge rooms, huge downstairs area with a beautiful bar actually, which we must test out later.
Yes, we did say we would.
I keep talking about drinking like I drink a lot and I don't drink anything.
No.
Anyway, it's beautiful, and you've got this beautiful outdoor space where you've got an abundance of flowers and some lovely just a really nice sort of outdoor eating area to sit and have a cold drink. And the rooms are fabulous, big, huge shower, which for my 6'5" husband is happy days. The bed, you could fit a family of 5 in it, I'm sure, widthwise again, and lengthwise. It's amazing. So lovely room, nice staff. I think Anthony had a chat with Jason, who is, I believe, the manager there, so I wasn't there, but he had a chat with him. So, no, absolutely perfect. Really
and
good.
Bill, thanks for the weather update. Bill is our weather forecaster now, officially. We've made you responsible for that, Bill. Hope that's okay. Met Office says rain for you in Paignton shortly, and wind picking up to 15 miles an hour, getting tougher for the paddlers.
The wind has picked up for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
we can see from the flags there there's a bit more activity up there. So yes, that is. It's all looking well, not good really, but temperature-wise and rain-wise, I don't know. I mean, if it was coming in, then it would be coming in from over in this direction.
Yeah, we should see.
And we did see that, Bill, that rain was forecast for today. Well, I can't see anything that really looks like rain clouds at the moment. So, but with the wind going as it is at the moment, it may well be blowing in fairly quickly. So yeah, we shall see what we shall see.
Absolutely. Do you
want to just take over that
You're
just
going to
for a
have
sec?
a chat with your friend.
Well, let's. He's just messaged.
Yep. So we're just keeping an eye on our special guests, and it all again depends on technology. You guys know it's always a challenge. Hi, Will Redaway. How are you? We've been talking about your beautiful film of Brendan's epic journey today, and just saying, well, what a stunningly beautiful film. You definitely need your tissues if you want to watch that. Circumnavigate. It's a stunning film of Brendan's journey around the UK, and Will Redaway was the man responsible for that. So look out for that. We've got, you can see how far the tide is out. We had chats this morning, so up here, this is where the tide came to, just here, where all the seaweed is, and it's gone way out there, and it's now gently bringing its way back. So the buoys almost became hammer buoys, those two that are near the shore, but actually, yeah, the tide's coming in pretty quickly. It's amazing, isn't it? The tide comes in, goes out, comes in, goes out. It's lovely. And all to do with the moon, apparently. So we've got our paddlers out there. We've got some incredible performances coming from Paul Simmons and Tanya Ecker. We've got someone watching here. Mr. Larry Kane, if you are there, hello, welcome. And
if you're able to request to join.
Thanks for checking in. If you want to try and request to join, that would be amazing. And I do believe it's best to do that on a mobile, isn't it? Did we have this issue last year? Have a try, Larry. See what you can
log
do.
Out, log back in again.
Yep. We will try and get you on board. But hey, giving the game away, hey. We're trying to get Mr. Larry Kane on to have a chat with us about racing and Paddle Monster and everything. So yeah.
Right, okay, so yeah, SUP 12, we've got a barbecue going here.
You've got time to go and grab an ice cream. There's ice creams.
Thanks, darling. There we
Where are
go.
these people over there? Thank you. Thank you.
Right, do you know, if you just take that again.
Yep, so we're going to do a little bit of technical whatever. I think Larry, Simon is going to message you about how to get on to join. Let's have a look at this. What is that there? Guest request. Oh, hang on.
Okay.
Hey Larry, I've sent you an invitation. We actually can do it our end, so
Well done. Right, so let's connection failed.
okay, bear with us everybody, because it is always a little bit tricky here to try and get people to join the live feed. So we are just, yep. Larry Kane is trying to join us live from America, but we are waiting to see if we can get him on board. So we have sent him
Wash
a link.
your mouth out, Sarah. It's Canada.
Oh, Canada. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Mr. Kane. I'm not sure I'll ever live that down, actually, knowing the current situation in the States. Anyway, silly me. Of course, Larry Kane is Canadian, as you will all hear, hopefully, very soon. He couldn't be more Canadian. So we are just waiting for Larry to join us, hopefully. Yep, we are trying to sort the tech out. Simon is working in the background to try and get that sorted. And in the meantime, you're watching SUP 12 here at Paynton Beach. We're in its third year, and we have got some amazing performances from everybody, actually, not just the people who are winning. So